Good evening, and welcome to your local 6 o'clock news.
Where you're up to date because we are.
You like saying that, don't you?
Yeah, it makes me sound important. Where you're up to date because we are. See what I mean?
Sure, whatever you say. Now, can we please get back to work?
Absolutely. We want them to be up to date, like we are.
Of course. Now, our top story is the release of the kidnapping victim, which we've been following for a few months now.
Wait, we can't start there.
What are you doing?
We can't start there. That's the end of the story. And if we start at the end, then they are not up to date. And if they're not up to date, then I can't say they're up to date because we really haven't brought them up to date, right?
What?
Look, if this is the first time these people have tuned in, they don't know what's happened that we've been following, so we have to bring them up to date before we tell them the end. Now, doesn't that make sense?
You know, as much as I hate to admit it, I guess that does make sense. So, we'll start at the beginning and work our way to the end. Ladies first.
Well, it all started when the victims, Rebecca and Jesse, went out to a party one night. It was something to do, and it seemed harmless enough. But all too soon, they found out that things are not exactly what they seem.
They met lots of new people, but one in particular caught their attention. His name was D.C. Bird, and his friendly, easy conversation made them like him immediately.
The details of what happened next are still sketchy, but somehow, after the party, the two found themselves prisoner of a very different person than they had met earlier that night.
Oh, we've had so much fun today. We got ice cream, and I let you guys pick the radio station. Now just get comfortable there, because this ice cream... Ooh, we don't want that to fall off now, do we? You get comfortable. I'm going to go write a little ransom note, and yeah, by the way, from now on, there's no more Mr. Nice Guy!
Hours went by. Jesse and Rebecca struggled to free themselves, but it was no use. Finally, they fell asleep from exhaustion, but that didn't last long. DC had finished the ransom note and wanted to share it with his two prisoners.
Hey, wake up! Hi, how you doing? Hey, yeah, by the way, wanted to run this by you. I have a plan to get control. No, I have a plan to get absolute control. No, I'm going to get total control. And here's how. Check out my nice little ransom note. Now, I need you to come with me. Come on, come on. Burn, girly girl.
In the days to come, Jesse and Rebecca discovered just how evil this man really was. The ransom note was delivered, and they even talked with their families by phone.
But it was no use. The ransom was just too much to pay.
As DC gained confidence, he gave his prisoners more and more freedom. He knew that only in their freedom would he find out exactly how much control he had over them.
It was clear he wanted only the worst for them. And if he could rob them of hope, then there was no turning back.
Oh, I'm so sick of this place. Can't believe we got ourselves in this mess. Rebecca warned me about that guy, but I can't believe it. Nobody's gonna be able to pay that ransom. Who cares about us anyways? Nobody does. I just want to die. Is that too much to ask? Just let me die.
Jesse, you don't mean that. We will get out of here. You can't give up hope.
Hope? Are you kidding me? I think you need to take another look at this place. There's no hope left, if there ever was any in the first place.
Jesse, that's not true.
Of course it's true. You saw the ransom, right? Nobody could possibly pay that. Who's going to pay it? Your mom? Your friends? Well, I need some answers.
Well, no, probably not. But I'm not giving up hope.
Well, I am.
Jesse, where are you going?
You know, hope is like a little birdie with feathers. You know, you poke at it, poke, 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 and eventually it's going to fly away. And it won't take very long, because I'm going to keep poking, poking, poking at Rebecca, and her hope will fly away, and then they'll both be mine.
But Rebecca's hope didn't fly away. She held onto it with everything she had, and it was the only way she could rest. She couldn't let herself think about the ransom, and most of all, she couldn't let Jesse bring her down, even if that meant she had to avoid being with him.
She had talked him out of killing himself that day, but lately, he seemed to take a different approach that she was finding hard to understand.
Oh, I've got friends. Hello, ladies.
Hey, what? Hey, what's the deal? Look now. Oh, wait, look. She's resting on that. Why sit down right there? She's resting on that hope again.
What? You're so stupid.
We can't have that.
No.
Here's what I need you to do. I need you to steal
Jesse, why are you blindfolded?
What are you talking about? I can see just fine.
Jesse, don't you see he's blinding you to the truth?
Truth? What is it with you? There is no truth, just like there's no hope.
No! My hope is all I have left, and you will not take that from me. Jesse, you've changed. You've given up hope, and you let him blind you to the truth, and then you got comfortable here with him.
Every man has his price.
And the price has been paid.
You paid the ransom?
Rebecca, I am the ransom. And the hope you've been holding on to for so long, I call it faith. The very core of things you hope for, even though you can't see them.
But what about Jesse?
First, he needs to realize the deceiver has stolen his hope and blinded him from the truth.
What is it with you people? You never give up, do you? All this truth and hope. I don't need any of it. I'm fine the way I am.
Hey, yeah, JC, you may have paid that ransom, but don't forget who's got control. Oh, DC's got control.
For now, maybe. But all who I've ransomed will spend eternity with me one day. Come on, Rebecca. Let's get out of this place.
But what about Jesse?
What about Jesse?
Well, what about Jesse?
I'm comfortable right here.
But Jesse, he's paid the ransom. We can go.
Every man has his price.
And that brings us back to our top story, the release of a kidnapping victim, which we've been following for a few months now.
Jared, I don't think that's the top story.
But it says so in my notes.
Well, it shouldn't be the top story. The real story here is that, even though the ransom was paid in full, Jesse made the choice to stay with the kidnapper.
I only hope that maybe someday he'll find his hope again.